And they require the mandate. Or the empire. Interesting. Wait, mandate or empire as in just the empire level? Which would be 1,000 development. I mean, there's not a huge amount of development up there, but if they take enough of Ming, they could certainly do it. If the mandate doesn't exist, you need empire rank. Okay. Then the other thing I want to double check is to see what the extent of the HRE is. So we wanted to take a look at Muscovy. They can see the name Oirat, but they don't know the true extent. And Delhi can see the name Oirat, and they can see that they have a border with them. Okay, Oirat, we wanted to see what you require for Iran. You just need Xuanhua. All Mongol, Korchin, Khalkha, and Oirat lands must be ruled by Oirat or their vassals. They need to be the Emperor of China. So they need this bit. So not really a huge amount. They need to take out Korchin. They need to take out Uzbek, Transaxonia, Nogai, Crimea. Yeah, they need a lot. Oh, they need a Jam. Oh, that's Mongol. Sorry. Wrong one. Korchin, Karadel, Kazakh. No, not Kazakh. So yeah, just these bits. So they're almost there. They're getting pretty close. Taking over the mandate in multiplayer can be a very bad idea. Yes. Yes, it can. Right, where is the HRE Imperial Map Mode? There it is. Sweden has in fact joined the HRE. It continues to grow. England's in the HRE. I love the fact that Sweden's joined it. That's fascinating. And it's not just joined it, like in name only as Britain has. They have fully joined it. Which is giving Austria a lot more power, I think. Although they don't currently have much imperial authority, they have instituted the Reichsregiment, which means they get an extra diplomat and extra diplomatic relations, and then all of their members get national unrest reduction, which actually for Sweden is going to be very useful for taking over Norway and Denmark and countering the uprisings there. Reform Hofgericht will be core creation for the Emperor. Then Gemeine Fenning is the big one for them, which is the tax income. But the others do get diplomatic reputation, which if you have a lot of vassals can be very useful. And Landfriede means tech cost, but that does disallow internal HRE wars. So it'll be interesting to see just how far Austria goes with the reforms, and how far the players allow them to go with those reforms. Papal States. Oh, I thought Naples was fighting someone. Who's Naples at war with? Nobody. It must have just been sailing in the same area. Papal States currently at war with Siena and Ferrara, trying to grow a little bit more down here. How's their AE looking? Not too bad. Austria going after Bosnia, pinching it before the Ottomans can get there. Tunis still at war with Mali this time. A country they've barely even seen. Morocco's down there. Oh, it's a Moroccan war. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense to me now. It is just Morocco versus Mali. How's the institution spreading down here, though? Mali is still getting feudalism, and it will spread throughout all of this. They do get... Oh, Renaissance is arriving down here because this is actually Tunis. Air is a Tunisian vassal, right? Yes. So Africa is slowly but surely getting the institutions. Ethiopia has feudalism. Feudalism's gone all the way down here. So the other way that the Congo could get feudalism is by colonizing that. Rukwa. And then it will eventually spread through here and then across. If everyone likes each other, which is not necessarily granted. And Turagat, Sigir, and I don't harass anymore. Thank you very much for the follows. Welcome to the channel. Would I mind having a look at Poland? Sure. Poland is financially fine, so you're completely out of debt, which is nice. Influence ideas slowly building up. I don't know if you took influence. This is the Poland player. I know that they weren't able to play. They're just curious about what's happening. Poland's actually in a pretty decent position right now. Like, they're not struggling, really, in anything. Manpower is still a bit low. They've had a couple of rebel issues, though currently not. Currently drilling, so is building up professionalism. 3.6. Yeah, doing fine. Huzzah! Chandelord, thank you very... Oh no! Sindrin, thank you very much for gifting a sub to Chandelord. Chandelord, welcome to the Maudlings. Thanks very much for that, Sindrin. Always appreciated. So, no other player wars. The only player war we've had this session was the Indian Thunderdome. Jumper still holding on to Tirhut. Hoshikawa holding on to So. England holding on to Kelra. The Mighty Knights still existing. Not taken down by the Ottomans yet. Tortuga not taken by anyone, although we do have a colonial power for the first time. What were the other ones? Betsimisaraka, completely controlled by Sakalava right now, so Vatamandri still independent. So we've seen that, we've seen Tirhut, right, Tirhut, so Betsimisaraka, Rhodes, Kelra, Gotland, Tortuga, that's all 7. Meanwhile, the Inca now have a border with Guarani, Chaco, and Santiago del Estero, also known as Carua, Mapuche, and Guarani. Things are fairly quiet at the moment. Burgundy fighting some Dutch rebels, helping the Dutch out there. Muscovy is at war with Livland. I don't think they're going to live for very long. Riga, Scotland, and the Teutons. Sweden is going after the Teutonic Order, trying to take Memel, apparently. Which could be a real thorn in Poland's side. Oh, that's going to be interesting. I kind of hope that Sweden takes Memel, because they could certainly vassalize them, and that gives them a port to ship troops in to fight against Danzig, Poland, and Lithuania. Notwithstanding owning the Livonian Order, of course, which I wouldn't be surprised if Muscovy takes as a vassal. Holy Victor and the Papal States still fighting against Ferrara and Siena. Ulm probably still fighting Ravensburg in a war that seems to last forever. Although they are now at 100%, so they could absolutely take it. Although AE, it's rising. People are getting a little miffed with Ulm. Need to be careful. In fact, if we just go to Ulm and then piece this out, they just did it. So did they take Ravensburg? Ravensburg is... no. They just did transfer trade power. So I'm not 100% what they took from this. Breisgau and Zurich belongs to Ulm. Portugal is at war with Tupi. Tupi over here. But you were Caribbean. Is there another native called Tupi? That's Arawak. That's Carib. Could have sworn the Tupi start up here. If so, that's one hell of a migration. Only to die to Portugal. Brandenburg is at war, probably still with Verden and Magdeburg, waiting for aggressive expansion to go down. Maybe, though they don't seem to have very many problems with that. The Ottomans are still at war with Karakanulu, taking more and more territory. Ajam still not getting involved at all. Just sitting there with low organization, or morale, as it's known in this. Morocco still at war with Mali, taking more and more of the territory down here. Mali does have a little bit going after the Sahara passages, but honestly, Mali's days are now numbered. But they were too late to stop the feudalism spreading down here. It is now thundering through there like wildfire. Then Milan is... Who's Milan at war with? That's a good question. Milan currently fighting against Bosnia, helping out their Austrian buddies, I guess. Austria's at war with Bosnia, guessing nobody else. And then Delhi currently fighting against Baluchistan, Horsa, and Sistan. Trying to expand down here towards the Persian Gulf, the Gulf of Oman. Inca had a bunch of rebels, which means they usually means they just took a reform. And their authority has indeed gone down, and they do indeed have colonists. So the Inca not using any of their merchants, which is an interesting decision, considering they could be taking fairly significantly more money in Lima, because having a merchant there increases the trade efficiency by 10%. Trade efficiency is just a pure increase in profit. Just means you get more money. Should always have it. Unless you don't. And they could also be pushing another 0.5 ducats into Lima from Coiba. Because at the moment nobody is directing where the money goes, so if you're the only person directing it, all of the money leaves through your exit. So yeah, where's their first colonist? That was the thing. That was why I really clicked on them. I just happened to see that they didn't have any... Wait, where is this? Nazca. Ah, down here. Trying to grab more of the coastline, denying the Europeans access points. I thought they couldn't use merchants to their reform. Is that true? They have the distance. Says they can. Oh no, they don't have the distance. I thought when I just clicked on them they did. Yeah, they do. As far as I'm aware, they can. Unless there's something else blocking them, because I can do it. And the easiest way to do that would just be to give them like a -5 merchants or something until they reform. Huzzah! Maharo! Thank you very much for the 13-month resubscription. Very much appreciate that. 13 great months. I agree. They have been rather great. Thank you very much for the resub. Appreciate that. Oirat is at war again. Probably against Ming? No. Uzbek and Nogai going the other way. This is going to bring them closer and closer to Muscovy, because Perm is a Muscovite vassal. And Muscovy can see that something is happening in Uzbek. Not that it's been occupied yet, though. And it's probably still slightly off of his screen. And Finland. Livonia went to Finland. Interesting, so this is going to be one hell of a Finnish vassal. A perfect way to finish off the life of the Livonians. Oirat to Mongol Empire confirmed. They're going for it. I mean, they still have to take all of this to form Mongolia, and I'm sure that Ajam and Delhi will have something to say about that. Possibly even the Ottomans, Bahmanis, and Jombur. Meanwhile, the Ottomans moving into Akanulu, continuing to take more and more territory. No real surprises there. Holy Victor still fighting against... Oh no, that war is over. So who are they going after now? Florence! No, not Florence. Though it's only one province. How's the coalition, though? A couple of people certainly getting a bit miffed. Including Genoa, who are very, very miffed. Florence is a very high development province. I don't think they can actually get this. I think that will send them over. Yep. What about if they vassalized it? Yep. A lot of people would be very, very upset with them if they vassalized Florence. I think the Pope got a bit greedy there. Just because of how expensive it is. The Pope is not very popular. Terrible. And also excellent. Navarro's having some rebel problems. Castile's army is all sitting here on the south coast, looking over the Gulf of Almeria, wondering at the glorious provinces that they could take from Morocco. While Morocco is so busy down here in the south of Africa. Well, not really the south of Africa, the south of West Africa. Meanwhile, Portuguese colonies continue to grow. Morocco taking over some of the coastal provinces. Like that, I know, is a colony. And is in fact still being colonized. No troops there, though, which with a 5,000 native is a bit of a gamble. What is their native policy? That's in here. Coexistence. Okay, so no chance of uprising. Which is an interesting choice. Yeah, I guess that would be the only real way to expand. Although with 5,000 natives down here, that's a lot of goods produced. If you get the native assimilation, 5,000 natives equals a lot of goods produced. Especially if you get the policies which increase assimilation further. Portugal sold his African holdings to Castile. Canaries weren't. Oh, you're right. Yes, Ceuta's gone to Castile. So Castile now has an easy crossing into Morocco. Query, who are your rivals? Castile's rivals are Burgundy, Mamelukes and the Ottomans. So they are not rivaled with Morocco, and they are rivaled by the Ottomans and Burgundy. So there could well be a bit of hostility brewing between the Ottomans and Castile if they wanted to get power projection. Actually, I'm curious about this. Who are everyone's rivals? So England is rival to Scotland and Denmark. France is rivals with Burgundy, Ottomans and Mamelukes. Who else is around here? Papal States, rivals with Savoy, France and Tunis. Austria, rivals with Burgundy and Bohemia. Brandenburg rivals with Bohemia, Sweden and Denmark. So Brandenburg and Sweden, no love lost between those two. And that is a mutual rivalry. Ulm, mighty Ulm, rivals with Bavaria, Palatinate and Savoy, so no player rivalry there. Poland rivals with Hungary and Muscovy. Ottomans rivals with Hungary, Mamelukes and Castile. So they do have a rivalry against the Mamelukes. Like I said, no love lost between these two. Muscovy currently rivals with Poland, France and Denmark. So France also earning themselves a couple of rivals. Meanwhile, the Ottomans have finished their war with Akanulu and are spreading out from there. Congo rivals with nobody. No possible rivals. They have exceeded everyone around them, and I suspect that Inca's in the same situation. Let's just double check that. I'll be stunned if I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. Ajam. Ajam's rivals currently are Karakanulu. Oirat's rivals currently Uzbek, Ashikaga and Ming. Not Hoshikawa, Ashikaga. Delhi's rivals being Jaunpur, Mewar and Afghanistan. Jaunpur's rivals being Bahmanis and Orissa. And then the Bahmanis being Jaunpur and Ming. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, they've also got Sri Lanka. Malacca's rivals Ayutthaya, Kaima and Majapahit. Ming rivals with Oirat. And then Hoshikawa rivals with Imagawa. Not Ashikaga.